It's v.h.s.x. What do you mean?
Alright everybody, welcome back to a brand new video. Today we have another video that we're going to be discussing that was actually suggested by one of you guys in the Discord community. So if you want to go ahead and join the community to be able to suggest videos for discussion, you can go ahead and join with the link in the description. Make sure you accept the rules with the knife emote at the bottom. And this one is from Spy, so shout out to you. And this video is from Scott Jund, titled Survivor just got an unannounced massive buff, Dead by Daylight. And I'm actually kind of curious to hear what this is about, because I have not been playing any of the 1v4 lately, mainly just 2v8. So I'm pretty sure like anybody who has been playing the 1v4 was probably going to be noticing this, and this was news to me. So I wanted to go ahead and hear a little bit more about the details surrounding this, because I think this is important to bring some awareness to when discussing the state of the game right now.
I was noticing, like, damn, I feel like there's a lot of pallets on these. Maybe I just got unlucky or something like that, because there's a pallet like every 3 feet. I thought maybe I was going crazy, but then I actually went and started testing and looking at basically every map in the game, and we found out, yeah, basically every non-static map, a static map is like RPD, where it's all just the same static structures, almost every non-static map has significantly more pallets. I don't mean like they just threw a couple, like 1 or 2 more to the outskirts. Most maps in DBD typically have between like 10 and 14 pallets, just like roughly on average. It can be plus or minus a couple there. I tested for an hour straight, and I'm going to show you some of these. I tested for an hour straight, and most maps now have minimum 19 to 20 to 21, 22. Like, it's not even like we went from like, 10 to 13 or like, 13 to 15.
So yeah, this is definitely really concerning. I think this might be like a bug having to do with the 2v8 mode coming out. And it's possible that this was kind of sort of coming, because like when I was playing recently in my Chucky games, for whatever reason, the game would like just crash. And I didn't really understand like why that was the case. And it only would happen with Chucky, so I thought it was a Chucky bug. But it turned out maybe it was actually the maps, and that's what I was told on a stream as well. It was like, hey, it wasn't Chucky, it was the map, and maybe it was crashing due to the fact that like maybe there was some kind of error that was occurring that had to do with like the map generations or something like that. And now we're getting a bugged version of these maps now that include way more pallets than they're supposed to. So that is definitely a new bug. And it indirectly brings back the pallet density update. It's almost like it's indirect, and it's very unfortunate for the rest of us, because I don't really believe that it was intentional. I mean, I don't like, they usually drop something in the patch notes, so that this usually if it's like something this like massive, they usually will put it in the patch notes. So with this in mind, I'm like, this is definitely concerning, just to say the least. But hopefully that'll get fixed soon. But I want to see if Scott includes any examples so that we can actually take a look. And the original video is linked in the description if you need more context. But I'm going to quickly take a look and see if he actually has the examples.
Spawning. So like I said, I went through basically every map in the game with Zanchin tactics and just ran through and just straight up counted the number of pallets. Borgo, this is an example of a map that now has at least 22 pallets on it. There is a pallet like every 3 feet on this map, spawning ridiculous structures connected to shack, all chained together. And some of these are not amazing tiles or anything like that. Some of them are pretty not great, but they chain into good tiles, so they become great. Scenarios like that, pallets are not supposed to be able to spawn this close to each other. There's actually a mechanic in Dead by Daylight that makes it so specifically if random generation spawns 2 pallets this close together, here's another example, this close together, you are not, one of these pallets is supposed to be removed. It's not, you're not supposed to have these this close together. So it seems like this.
Well, the one thing I will add on to what Scott is saying is the fact that like despite there being some kind of mechanic to prevent this from occurring, I do see it quite often. Where pallets will spawn very, very close to each other. For some reason, like I guess it's not like the most perfect system. Like it does end up allowing like for pretty nasty setups. And this is one of those examples. Obviously, you have a pallet like literally 2 feet away, so it makes it pretty hard to be able to like, I would say, get a hit reliably, because of the fact that you're gonna get stunned either way, and it's going to eat up a lot of time. No matter how you slice it, I mean, it's going to eat up a lot of time, even trying to get one of them down. And in this instance, I don't even think that, like, when you're having two pallets this close to each other, really allows for either one to really need to be dropped because of how strong that they are together. And that is not good. So I wanted to touch on that at least. Now, this does remind me of the pallet density update beforehand, where the pallets genuinely did spawn like 2 feet away from each other, and other things are not spawning correctly. Like, we can remember Swamp, where it had like just like that floating pallet. Like, I think there was a lot of tiles that were just not working properly. And lo and behold, I mean, it's almost as if it somehow the pallet density has returned.
System that's supposed to check for pallets and not place them right next to other pallets is just not working at all. It's just spawning this shit everywhere. Yeah, another example, Father Campbell's Chapel. There are basically 6 pallets within 8 meters of me here. And again, some of them are not great, but they're so closely chained together that they're literally not supposed to spawn. Like, you are not supposed to have these things in my line of sight right now. There are 5 pallets within 8 meters of each other. It doesn't matter even if they're shitty pallets. At that point, there's so much congestion, you could basically make your own infinite with the dropped pallets. There are so many pallets just right next to each other here. This is a small map, and this map had 21 pallets, I think. It had 20 and 21. I tried like 3 separate reloads to try different seeds to make sure I didn't get some crazy-ass seed, but this is now a new normal thing. So, like I said, I even tried maps that didn't have...
Yeah, this is a bit concerning, I have to say. This is actually something that hopefully can get fixed as soon as possible. Because I think this is pretty game-breaking, especially when like a good majority of the killers like in the roster are pretty weak currently. You know, anything that isn't like at A tier and above, like, pretty much is going to struggle extremely heavily with the pallet density to this degree, especially for people that maybe aren't interested in doing the 2v8. So my best sort of advice, I would say, when it comes down to, if you really want to play the game, I would honestly argue maybe just sticking to 2v8, because 1v4 is going to be extremely hard to really, I would say, like, actually sit around and enjoy, because of the fact that there's a lot of pallets now, and it really depends on the character, of course, as to, you know, how well you're going to be able to succeed. So yeah, I mean, if you're playing Skull Merchant or Ghostface, I mean, you know, rest in peace. I would, like I've said, just maybe just play the 2v8 instead. Like, at least you have like a better chance for a little bit more of an enjoyable experience, and, you know, at least, you know, it's a little more interesting, I would say, and you at least get more blood points, or if you're really looking for that, if you want to like level up your characters or something like that, you have the 3.5 times bonus right now. So I mean, that's probably more beneficial than going through this right now. And yeah, I mean, with the S tier, maybe not as bad, you know, so that is not a great sign. I'm a bit concerned, you know what I mean? I'm a bit concerned, but I think it's maybe it has something to do with the 2v8 arriving, or it has something to do with like maybe some pallet density, something. Maybe they're testing stuff, who knows? You know, we don't know. But you know, this is hopefully to kind of inform you guys, like, that, like, just sort of those of you that are like at least like maybe unaware. The original video is linked in the description, of course, so if you really want to have, like, you know, the, you know, Scott showing each map, you know what I mean, a couple of examples. I showed 2 here, but yeah, I mean, this is just for you guys to get informed. So appreciate you guys, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Hit the like button, leave a comment about your thoughts, of course, and yeah, hopefully you guys enjoyed it. All right, let's go ahead and read off our members from Patreon: Pro King 101, YouTube members: Cargan Falcon, Evil Blade, Cap Courteous, WTF You're Not J-Lo, Evil Peach, Cozy Bozy, Theo Endire, Dole Whip, Noxus, Zero Mocker, Jack, Christian, and Crow Vader. And for the Twitch, we have Final Girl Bunny, Leona Art, Zazabu, Evil Blade, Danica, Crow Vader, Cake is a Road, Zeneron, Ginsburg, Mr. Morick, Kevin, Zero Mocker, Ashai Boo, and Gryffindor. Appreciate you guys supporting. Really means a lot. If you want to become a member, you can go ahead and join through Patreon or YouTube members, or even sub on Twitch. See you guys in the next one.